Welcome to the Traction Files.
Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Brett.
Today we're looking at the BMW i3. Mate, it's a thing to behold, isn't it?
It is quite a thing. I think it's sort of first things first when initial impressions. What a look.
Well, it's different. It's different, and that's what I like about it.
Oh, it's absolutely same. I like the fact that it's different.
And it's not a, I suppose what they could have done is take a 1 Series and thrown a battery in, but they haven't. They've designed this from the ground up, and they've taken a really environmentally conscious approach to it. So we've got the battery pack in here. Now this is a special edition because this is the Rex, the i3 Rex. So it's got the range extender. So the range extender is basically a little 650cc moped motor in the back to charge up your battery. So it gives you about another 120 k's, give or take. So really interesting car. I'll show you what I really love. Is this little baby.
Suicide door.
Who doesn't want a suicide door?
Yeah, I love
in
it.
their car.
It's very much in keeping with the new design language and making a statement.
Well, and it is a different design language, isn't it? So yeah, what are your what's your takeaways from your first look at this?
So first look, as I said, departure from the standard BMW mould, which is to be applauded. I think it is a special car. It's a very important car for BMW and for the industry as a whole. So I think the fact that they've made a statement is to be supported and to be commended. And you can really see the philosophy that BMW have that's underpinned this car is absolutely coming through in the design language.
And mate, it's not a toy. This is a grown-up car.
No, you're absolutely right. So first impressions behind the wheel. Straight away, driving position is quite commanding. I've got more height than I would expect in a car of this size. Certainly doesn't feel like your hatchback. It's got a little bit more both headroom, cabin room, as well as just seat position. So that's slightly better visibility on the road than I would have expected for a car of this size.
Just making the quiet takeoff with this little car, and I tell you what, the acceleration is really quite surprising. Particularly around that sort of 20 kilometre up to about 80 kilometre, you can get a really good drive out of it. Putting the foot to the floor really surprises the people next to you in the traffic lights as well. Something you're really conscious of in the electric car, particularly with the BMW, and just the refined drive that you have, is the noise of the other cars. So this has got a little bit of a Jetsons whirl to it as you're driving along, which sounds pretty cool, but it's almost imperceptible. So the most noise I can hear is actually the wind noise. So we've got consistent design cues going through this vehicle. So you've got really quite unique 19-inch alloys on this car. But what is different, if we turn the wheel around, is you'll actually see that these are 155s. So normally in a BMW, I expect to be, around the 235, 255 mark. So this reduces the rolling resistance. It gives you that extra ability for the increased range.
So BMW, as always, a lot of attention paid to their dynamic lines. You've got a beautiful crease here coming through just through the door handle. And you've got a lovely swooping cutaway to frame the windows. And if you sort of take it from a couple of perspectives, I think there's a nice Range Rover Evoque look going on here at the rear, which is a compliment. I think it's in keeping with the design of the car and looks great.
mean, I really do love the interior design of this car. It's a real departure, it's something different. So it's almost like Jean-Paul Gaultier's got into the design department and created a piece of decor. I mean, this isn't a dash, this is like a piece of furniture. There's lovely, lovely woods and beautiful lines that are reminiscent of the lines that you see on the outside of the car. Really high resolution imaging here, so we don't have dials, we've got 2 displays. So we've got speed, we've got vehicle information here that you need to know, maps, reverse camera, everything comes up here. The reverse camera is so high resolution, in fact, it's just a beautiful thing. I've only ever seen something similar to that in an Aston Martin. So, beautiful vehicle, it's reimagined, everything's at your fingertips though. Got a bit of an old school design here. This is like the old column shift for those of you who remember. And we just flick it forward to drive and away we go. And of course there's no noise. The vehicle's actually on right now. Absolutely silent.
So Peter, something we haven't talked about with this car, price point. It's not a cheap vehicle. It's
True that.
It's $64,000.
$64,000 for the base with the range extender that this one has, about $70,000.
It's a premium vehicle at a premium price point.
Yep.
That said, I think it's going to be difficult for a lot of people to justify that kind of spend.
Look, and I don't think he would justify it based on the fact that it's an electric vehicle. And yes, look, the onboard computer's got the smarts that you can charge it in off-peak, and that's fantastic. But really, I mean, you're looking at a substantial investment initially. And I don't think BMW makes an apology for that. This is a new vehicle built from the ground up. So it's more of a philosophy purchase, isn't it, than an economic purchase?
I absolutely agree. I think if you're going to measure value here, there's more than the purchase price. There's much more than the purchase price.
Yep.
That comes into play when you're talking about measuring the value.
Yeah. So would you own it? That's the big question.
I've been thinking about that all day. Would I own it? And my answer is 2 parts. Yes, I would.
Yep.
But it would need to be a 2-car garage. I see too many situations where the range anxiety that comes with a vehicle like this would become a real issue. Now, I think that's a bit of a cop-out position, I know, but electrics have still got such a way to go with range. We know there's some other manufacturers bringing some longer range vehicles to the market soon.
It's going to get better and better. And look, this is I think we're still in the early adopter phase. So Mitsubishi, so we've got Holden with the Volt. Tesla's on the horizon. It's coming into Australia, which is fantastic. But we're in that early adopter phase. So I'm very much like you. A 2-car garage, Monday to Friday, getting to work, going to the shopping, picking up the kids, absolutely. On the weekend, you want to travel a little bit further? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna run into that issue of will I get there, will I get home, and have I just spent $60,000 on a car that doesn't quite cover the everyday? Which to me, if you're going to measure a car on anything, an electric car on anything, it's the fact that it could quite legitimately replace a petrol-powered vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. And having said that, this is a grown-up car. This isn't one that's that they've taken the 1 Series and done something different with it. This is actually a fully blown car that you can use day to day, which is great. But yeah, I think in Australia with the distances, just not quite there for me.
I agree. I think we're unanimous on that. There's a lot of love for this car.
There's a
lot of appreciation for this car. But when you look at it in the Australian context specifically, it's coming up just that little bit short in terms of practicality every day.
So 4 out of 5 stars for me?
Yeah, 4.5. I think this car is so close to being what an electric car needs to be to really shake up the industry. I've got to commend BMW for what they've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And support what they're doing.
Yep. So there you have it. 4.5. We love it.